There are very few people who are sad to get a promotion. But Sai is a rare exception. He's a product manager at a Fortune 100 company that he did not want to name. He's an IIM Ahmedabad alumnus, and he's also Rahul's friend. Rahul works with him on the same team in the same role, performing very similar tasks. And in the last promotion cycle, he learned that he got promoted over his dear friend Rahul. So, how did you learn about him not getting promoted?
I actually asked the manager at the end of the one-on-one. Yeah.
What? At the end of your one-on-one, what did you do again?
I asked my manager if Rahul was also promoted. But then he said no. And I was a little shocked at that time. I kept quiet for like 20-30 minutes, 20-30 seconds, sorry. And then I asked him that I think he also deserves it.
Sai thought both he and Rahul get the promotion because they were working on a really successful team. His manager had promised to make that happen because both of them were top performers, and his team had just come off a successful product launch. So when Sai got the news that he was promoted instead of Rahul, he was really shocked.
My initial thought was that we would party together because I didn't know that he was not promoted. But then when I knew, then I actually got into a lot of self-doubt and kind of an imposter syndrome that why was I promoted before him, because I realized that he is also as deserving as me. So I didn't see any reason why I was promoted before him.
I cannot imagine doing what Sai did. Pitch for your friend in the same one-on-one where you're being told that you're promoted. But I understand the sentiment. When I moved to Bangalore to join the Ken, I didn't have any friends in the city. And I was lucky to find a great apolitical work environment at the Ken. Podcasting is truly an ensemble act, and by virtue of working together so much, we all found a camaraderie. And I got to learn so much in a short span of time. Our friendship enriched each of us in meaningful ways. In fact, there are studies after studies stating that this is not a unique experience. The top reason, not one of the top reasons, but the top reason behind job satisfaction is having a work bestie or a work wife, a work bro, which is a gender neutral term, and an office friend. Spending time with people you like makes everything appealing, including work apparently. You stay at the company for longer than you normally would if you had a work friend. You go the extra mile at work if it's your friend headlining the project. You're less likely to call in sick at work if you have a work bestie. It's almost like a best friend at work is a gift that keeps on giving. Still, one of the most common pieces of advice we receive at work is to resist the temptation of turning your colleagues into friends. The exact mistake or opportunity, I don't know yet, that I have made. Keep it polite and impersonal, and definitely keep them at a distance. In fact, many employers are concerned about favoritism and cliques and kind of disincentivize close friendships at work. When you're pitted against each other for a promotion, a project, and probably an international conference, can you ever really be friends? What if boundaries are breached? I really wanted to understand this better, so Anushka, who's the producer on the show, suggested we put out a survey and ask people to share their personal experiences. We received over 100 responses from people in the 18 to 25 age group, and it was rich with stories, insights, and takeaways, of which I reached out to 2 friendship duos. Today's episode, we follow Sai and Rahul and another friendship duo as they try to navigate how to compete in a cutthroat corporate environment without letting the friendship get in the way. And we meet them at different stages of their friendship in their journey, and the stakes are higher than you think. I am Akshaya Chandrasekaran. This is The First 2 Years, a show where we ask and answer the toughest questions around work, especially early career, every Tuesday. When you're new to the workforce, you often need friends to navigate this big change. That's what happened with me, and that's what happened with Kavita and Srinidhi, both chartered accountants who started off their careers together. They met during their articleship. An articleship is essentially a mandatory internship. But unlike regular internships, this lasts for 3 long years, and you're working on big projects with real clients and getting a stipend. In the chartered accountancy world, or CA world, there is a mad rush to bag articleship opportunities at the Big Four, which is KPMG, Ernst& Young, Deloitte, and PwC. In fact, Srinidhi and Kavita beat a lot of competition to get into one of these companies, and now that they've made it in, they just wanted to play on the same team.
Especially if you're doing it in a big four, like all the people who come, it is a very competitive place. All India rank holders in the previous levels of CA would also be there. And obviously, they would be treated better because they have shown that they are capable of getting a rank or whatever. So there will always be, so doing an articleship in a big four is considered to be like one of the best in terms of only the articleship exposure. So that's why the competition is a little more intense than it would be in a smaller firm.
We all know how important relationships are overall to our health and our happiness. Where would it not matter more than where we are spending most of our time? 8 hours a day and 5 days a week, more if you have a demanding job.
Articleship is a very grueling phase of life. So it's like we stay in office for 16 to 18 hours and all at times. So when you spend such an inordinate amount of time with someone, you're bound to like either like them a lot or hate them. So
Right as Kavita and Srinidhi were finding comfort in their friendship at their new jobs, Sai, whom we heard from before, was experiencing the same exact thing elsewhere.
All the different corporate employees were trying to find homes, and it was a mad rush. So we helped each other.
3 friends, Sai, Rahul, and Ishita, all 3 of them came to the new city, Bangalore, for this job. They knew nobody else except each other.
Like moving to a new city without friends. Oh, that would be scary. I mean, even though I have moved around a lot, just moving to a new city, especially after COVID, would have been really scary.
Soon, a friendship started blossoming.
There is no blame game as such. We know that hey, we did this part, we didn't do that part. But there was no, hey, this happened because of him, that happened because of her. We would jointly take credit, we'd jointly take blame also. So, and if there was something that we were both stuck on, or all 3 of us are stuck on, we will jointly try and solve it. Or if there is a difficult person at work that is difficult to all 3 of us, then we all would go ahead and try and fix that relationship. So those kinds of things really help.
Sai says the excitement to come in on a Monday morning, their willingness to kind of take on one for the team and do a little extra work or cover for somebody and have someone's back, all of this was early signs of a strong bond that started to take shape. I even found a study from the HR advisory firm Gallup that said that you're 7 times more engaged if you have a best friend at work. While Sai was settling in and deepening his friendship with Rahul and Ishita and really enjoying himself, things weren't going so well for Kavita.
My team was, no offense, but pretty bad in terms like the managers and were not just demanding in terms of work hours, which is fine because when you sign up, that there will be times that you have to work hard and all, which it's fine. But there was also like they were not being very professional. They were being outright rude and not taking cognizance of the fact that like you were doing much more than what is asked for you, but still they don't treat you properly and everything like that.
Well, that's when Kavita turned to Srinidhi for emotional support. Nothing unites you like a bad workplace culture, huh?
We'll have long hours. We'll have a lot of pressure, and you sometimes need someone to just vent it out, and then just tell them something. And I mean, whatever you're feeling or whatever work you have left, you just want to sometimes vent it out to someone, and then you'll feel like, okay, I'm done now. I'll go to work.
I spoke to a bunch of organizational psychologists with different takes on work friendships. Most of them said that we want a way to foster these positive relationships at work, but there will definitely be conflicts at play. There is no way to avoid that. You will have to review each other's work without biases. Your friendship could cause others to feel left out, and one of you could get promoted over the other, like in Sai's story.
We don't see it as a zero sum game. As a Even though probably the upper management sees us as competing with each other, within our circle, it's never like we have to win at the expense of the other. So that builds trust amongst ourselves to actually deliver stuff better than probably if we were competing with each other.
This arrangement was working out for Sai and Rahul. They were working synchronously and meeting targets. In fact, 73% of the people who took the survey said they'd prefer to work with a work friend on a project over anybody else. Though Ishita had moved on to a better opportunity in a different city due to personal obligations, Rahul and Sai continued to stay on, which is when their first promotion cycle came in.
Yeah, so out of the three, Ishita left quite early within a year. So me and Rahul were the only ones left.
So Ishita left, and it was just you and Rahul left. So between you and Rahul, who got the promotion?
I got the promotion.
Did that cause friction in your friendship?
I actually was quite worried that the friendship would be affected and we won't be the same again after this. But what I did was, once I got the news, I went to his place and we had a casual chat about it. And luckily for me, he was also mature enough to, understand this, that even though for some reason I was promoted first, it doesn't mean that I was promoted at his expense. What I mean by that is, so basically we have to write whatever achievements we had at the end of the year, right?
Yeah, self-appraisal, no? Yeah.
So in our self-appraisal, it's not like he had a different, different format of
achievements.
Yeah, he could have, he wrote his achievements, I wrote my achievements in a certain way. And for some reason, it was perceived that I was probably the one more deserving in that promotion cycle. But in both of our appraisals, self-appraisals, it was never like I was putting him down or he was putting me down. So it was entirely up to the perception of our manager on who would be promoted this cycle.
No matter how solid your bond is and how much trust you have in the relationship, this could really hurt. When I asked the career coaches about why we endure this and why not keep that professional distance that everyone keeps talking about, the bigger argument was this. Yes, there are big emotions when there is friendship. Yes, there are possible pitfalls. But you could say I'm opposed to friendship and not have a friend anymore. But you will still be left with an organization that has no friends and all of the same issues at the same time. Kind of sounds like a nightmare to me because you could still get overlooked for a promotion by somebody else. You're still going to feel a little bit left out in certain situations. And so you can be opposed to friendship and it does not protect you from all the fears you may have about inviting drama. Because we are still going to have so much drama at work even with no friends. So the bigger question isn't should we have them or not. The more important question is, how do we do this in the most healthy, appropriate way that benefits this workplace and your own personal lives?
Have you ever purchased a medicine or gotten a consultation from Pharmacy and just sensed that something was off? Say you're looking for a medicine. Not something off the counter like paracetamol or Meftal. You need something specific. Let's say for diabetes, that you cannot buy without a doctor's prescription. But as it turns out, you can't find that prescription anywhere. So you get on the app, add the medicine to your cart, and opt for an online consultation that Pharmeasy offers for free, just so you can get a prescription for that medicine that you need. And then, almost immediately, you get a random call from a doctor, and without asking for any details about your condition or medical reports, or if you're allergic to something, they prescribe the medicine that you want. And then, very casually, they'll also say, you know what, buy the supplement. For example, a Karela Jamun juice by some random brand you've never heard of. The person who says they're a doctor tells you it's really good for diabetes. But they never even asked you if you have a deficiency to begin with. The whole thing just gives off a really shady vibe. And the thing is, it's not just you that it's happened to. It's been happening to many Pharmeasy users. And here's the scary part. There are almost 4 million of them. The Ken reporter Shivani Varma recently carried out a full-blown investigation into what's happening at Pharmeasy. And in the latest special episode of Daybreak, the Ken's Business News podcast, Shivani joined me, Rahil, and my co-host Snigdha to tell us exactly what's going on. You'll find the episode in the show notes of this one, or just type Daybreak by the Ken wherever you get your podcasts and click on the episode titled The Pharmeasy Investigation. You don't want to miss this one. And now, back to Akshaya.
Despite the emotional support, Kavita could not bridge the gap between her and her manager, and she wanted out. As with Rahul and Sai, Rahul got skipped in the next promotion cycle as well because of how bad the job market had gotten. At this point, Sai and Srinidhi were about to lose 2 of their important support systems. And 50% of the people who took our survey on work friendships had said that they would quit after their work friend. So I asked Sai,
how has it been like to, you had a friend, camaraderie, and how long were you guys friends for?
You can say almost 3 years we have been friends.
Yeah, so you were friends for 3 years. Now, in a post-Rahul world, how's that been?
Yeah, I mean, it is lot less exciting to come to work. Things have been a lot more monotonous, lot less fun. Any politics that happens, it's like I have to fight alone. So, yeah, I mean, of course, you cannot quit on the day your friend leaves, right? You have to prepare and find a good role for yourself. So those kind of things, obviously, I am also considering. It's not like I'll quit just the day my friend quits. Also,
You're planning your
I'm
escape.
planning my escape, but it's also true that such situations will come in life. I cannot just keep quitting every time something happens. So, yeah, it's kind of like I'm somewhere between the grit and quit equation. Let's see where it goes.
both Rahul and Kavita acted in their best self-interest and quit their jobs. Rahul found a better growth trajectory somewhere else, and Kavita a better manager somewhere else.
I haven't been able to find someone like her because what happens is we start texting in the morning, good morning, and then it starts, anything happens, bro, this happened, bro, that happened, what should I do now? It was just like, I was constantly having someone to talk to. Even if I go to a client place alone, I wouldn't feel alone because I'll have her to text to and ping and ask anything. And even late at the night, if I'm working, if she's also working, I'll feel like someone is working with me. So that level of comfort I have not had with anybody else.
I spoke to many HR consultants about this sentiment of wanting to quit after your friend, and they say that research suggests that most people's friendship tenures last longer than job tenures. Friendships typically outlive most jobs, and they would much rather take this person along and have them be a part of their personal network than stick to one job for a really long time, friendless. I was still curious about where these guys were now that they didn't work at the same workplace anymore. Even as Sai is looking for jobs on LinkedIn, he's planning a trip with Rahul. Srinidhi is still texting Kavita about her daily life and work life, and they continue to remain in each other's lives. You can tell me your work friendship story and what you thought about this episode at akshaya@the-ken.com. Some of the names in the stories were replaced to protect the identity of the people. You can tell me your work friendship story and what you thought of the episode at akshaya@the-ken.com. Some of the names in the stories were replaced to protect the identity of the people involved. This episode was written, hosted, and produced by me, Akshaya Chandrasekaran, and audio engineering by Rajiv CN. The survey was designed by Anushka Mukherjee. Thank you for tuning in. See you next Tuesday.